So I teach a very diverse class. I mean, these kids are all over the map in terms of what they're bringing to sixth period every day. But I really like it. It's fun for me because it's not easy. And there's some challenge in trying to really make sure I get every single one of them on board at the end of the day. And to be totally honest, there's a lot of days where I'm like, man, I struck out today. I just didn't get there. But it keeps me coming back for more because I think a lot of teachers are like me in the sense that they want to do better, and want to see that dawning recognition on every single face. And that's, when I go home and I'm most pumped, it's because I got through to the one that I couldn't get through to for a week. And so it requires a lot of creativity in the development and implementation of the lessons. And so it's awesome that I have these resources to draw from because 70% of the real grunt work is done. And then I get to just tailor it from there and say, all right, how do I engage this student and this student who are coming from different backgrounds? So I have a large proportion of ELA students in my classroom. And the good thing about a science class is that a lot of the technical vocabulary is fundamentally built on Latin origins, which most of my students are Spanish speakers, and so a Latin origins coursework with technical vocabulary is actually well suited to them. It's cool because I've actually watched the tables turn sometimes, and my students who maybe don't have the academic confidence because of language barriers actually soar in these kind of lessons because they know these words more naturally than other students might. And so I do a lot of Latin origins discussion with the class at the start of the year. We do a lot of fundamentals and word dissection and building kind of contextual vocabulary and how do we attack words that we don't know. And so that helps my ELA students by the time they hit this point in the year. They can attack those words and go for it from there. My students with IEPs, really quite honestly, I think good teaching is good teaching. And so when you can use a multitude of strategies to engage students, you tend to kind of just inherently capture all of them. And so I find that when I'm reviewing IEPs, after kind of each unit, I say, did I do this? Did I do this? Well, yeah, I did that because naturally I want to engage every kind of kid anyway. Some of the strategies that I use in lessons like today that are real content heavy, very dense lesson, is that I ensure that they leave with every piece of information. And so I do ask students to, we do a lot of strategic note taking, and so I ask them to take information, reform it into their own words, apply it to kind of what they know, and then capture down that info. I know with a lot of my IEP students, that's a very involved cognitive process that they can't often do within the time frame that I'm allowed. So I ensure that they leave with, for example, today's PowerPoint, so they can do that task at their own speed and then still come with the same kind of result. So that's one of the best strategies I'll use for them. For my advanced learners, I think for a lot of teachers, they can be your most challenging because there's no rule book for here's how you teach advanced learners. And sometimes, a student who gets things really quickly is often left to kind of twiddle their thumbs or, that can become a distraction to others. So I empower students through a process that I teach very early on. I mean, the second week of school, we're doing all of our behavior training. And so I teach them how to teach others. And that's a fundamental expectation in my class is that if your peer needs help and you understand it, you will then turn around and teach them. And you'll use your skill. And there's no shame in that because it's an expectation from the word go. We do a lot of presentations in my class, and so it's just inherently built into how we do things. And I've paired students, pretty subliminally, I think, but paired students according to usually a really advanced student will sit next to a student who's less academically confident. And then, again, that expectation's built. Teach each other. So in a second, I'm going to say go. When I say go, stand up and look around the room. Okay, when you look around the room, you're going to be looking for 9, how many?
9.
Different index cards. Okay, and those index cards, right back here. Thank you. Those 9 index cards, you're like on an Easter egg hunt for free candy right now. Right? They're just index cards, and they have the initials or name of some kind of injection on them. Okay, and once you find them, show me, so I can mark down that you are one of the lucky winners. And then you're going to get a piece of tape, and you're going to tape the injection card on the donkey where you think we would give that injection. Okay, Reichman, will you encapsulate those directions one more time, please?
So when you say go, we're going to get up and look around the room for 9 index cards that are taped around the room. Make sure you know that when we find one, if we find one. And then once we're done, we're going to get a piece of blue tape and tape it onto the donkey where we think that injection would be given.
Savvy. Questions?